Was good, you guys? A little live trading recap here from today, the 10th, right? So first play was this Tesla. You see, I had all my key pivots marked here in orange. Had this previous zone up here, supply zone marked, and then the level we were watching from watch list was this 250, 251 area. I got that here because that was a low test from Friday, right? Friday of last week. So we're watching for a break and clear below that 250, 251 area to buy puts and go short, right? So you could see it here very nice and clearly following this major downtrend here, this yellow line, and breaking down below the previous uptrend here, right? So all in all, we're following along with trend and we have this key area where we could set our risk, right? So now we could see it nice and clear on the hourly chart here. Once again, we see this area 252, 251, 250 level, right? So we drop intraday, right? We get this nice sell off into the open below 250, right? Right as we start moving and we get this first candle closed. Remember, I was telling you guys on live to start loading your Tesla puts, right? And then we took entry here on the next candle, saw about 10% or so drawdown, but after this next candle here, we started seeing the sales start to come in, and we ended up riding that all the way down to 40% plus trade. Had our trail stop here and got trail stopped out a little early here onto this candle, but ended up continuing further into 235. So here's what our trade was looking like, right? Right, so we took our entry here. Our stop would have been right above this 250, right? And we caught it as a nice slide into down here. So 7.3 risk to reward. So 7 times our risk is what we made on this trade. And ultimately, from our watch list and the alert I gave out, $13 move till right now, down into 235, right? So that was the first trade, right? So the first thing we did was we identified the area, right? The second thing we did was we set our risk. The third thing we did was we entered and then we just managed the trade, right? So that was the first trade. Let's move on to the second trade, SPY. Okay. So here was the SPY right here, right? Same thing. Go from the higher time frames because we always want to be looking from the higher time frames. This 568 was the intraday bounce from Friday. So that was the area we were looking at, right? Here, if we go on the hourly, we can see all these key levels here that I had 580, 575, 570, 568, and moving down as well, right? So now when we get into the intraday 5 minute chart here, what do we see, right? We see we get that pop, not really touch that 570, and based off the price action here, we have this equal high that fails here into this high right here, right? Next thing we know, we're rejecting, staying under this 568. And then off this candle here, we see the very nice rejection, right? Price rejection off this wick, take entry there. And then I saw some of you guys ride this 100% plus into the lows, right? So again, let's go back and go through the process, right? So we found our level, we defined our risk, right? So our risk is going to be something like this, entered here under 568. And then this one did 11 risk to reward, right? 11 risk to reward, and it was a $4.90 drop, right? So two nice, beautiful trades, right? We could also go over Meta, right, as our last one. Meta just at 600, right? We'll go back to the higher time frame. Look at here on the 4 hour, that 600 was that low, right? So same strategy as with Tesla, basically, right? That was the Friday low there. We're waiting for a break and retest at the same area, right? Here into the five. On the 5 minute, what do we see here? We see the break and hold below 600, retest it here, and then does a nice fall into 586, right? So ended up catching again, almost $14 move into the downside. And then again, we set our risk. So we put our short tool. So we identified our area, then we set our risk, then we enter the trade. So this is the short tool here, right? Entered, oh, it's locked. Entered right about here, right? So our risk would have been this previous structure above, maybe $1 or so. And we end up getting another 11, 11 to 1 risk to reward, right? Beautiful trade. So yeah, you guys know we want at least 2 to 1, but these are some very nice trades, and that's why you got to use these level and higher time frame analysis so then you can get these big risk to reward trades. So it doesn't matter, right? If we're catching 6 of these, right? That's like maybe 60 R, right? And then if we lose a couple R here and there, maybe even 5 R in a row, we're still green, right? So just want to show you guys all that. Nice little recap. And then, yeah, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.